Oh no, it's a 13-minute battle. I'm not gonna watch this. Shut up. This was actually a pretty good OU battle, and yes, it is 13 minutes long, but trust me guys, y'all will definitely enjoy this one. I'm using the same team I used in my last OU battle, a team I got from Rematch and Tony Flygon. Looking at threats on my opponent's side of the field, Gengar and Infernape were really the only two main things I'm going to have to watch out for, because with the sun up, Infernape being already strong as it is will be even stronger because of the sun. Although I do have Slowbro, if he is mixed with Overheat, he will definitely be doing some damage to me. And if that Gengar is like sub-split or sub-disable, it's going to be very, very annoying to take down. But because he had no weather of his own, I decided to lead off with my Ninetales as he ends up leading off with the Rotom. I'm just going to switch directly out into my Zapdos, knowing that he more than likely would just go for the Volt Switch. Either way, I don't want to take any unnecessary damage, and with my Zapdos being special defensive, as I said, I can take any hit from this thing, as the Volt Switch doesn't even do that much. I want to say maybe 15-20% as the Volt Switches out into this Infernape. And I'm actually going to make a very risky play because yes, Slowbro is a water type, but Slowbro doesn't have the best special defense around, so if he was mixed with Overheat in the sun, I'm pretty positive he would have been able to get off a good chunk of damage on my Slowbro. And expecting him to switch into Ferrothorn, I pull a double switch out to my Zapdos as he makes his own double switch out to the Rotom, which it doesn't really matter because I can just stay in and go for the Thunderbolt. Unfortunately, that Thunderbolt really does not do as much as I hoped it would, as unfortunately for him, he does end up missing the Will-O-Wisp, which I don't really think it matters that much just because he does hit it later on in the battle, spoiler alert. But expecting him to go for another one, I decided to switch directly into my Ninetales, but he makes a very good play, goes for the Volt Switch, predicts that, and Volt Switches back out to his Infernape, which, because he did go for the Stone Edge, I know that he's not going to be mixed and more than likely is going to be Banded or possibly Expert Belted. Then again, I believe most Expert Belt Infernapes are indeed mixed. But yeah, judging from that damage, I know he is Banded because I did run a damage calc and the damage output was around how much damage Choice Banded U-Turn will do. As a U-Turn down to the Gengar, I am then going to be forced to switch out. As I bring my Zapdos, he actually makes a switch back out into his Infernape, more than likely thinking I would want to bring in my Tyranitar, but no, either way, this thing is in a very good position because now he can just go straight for the Flare Blitz and destroy my Zapdos. But because I know he's going to want to do that, even if he does want to go for another U-turn, Slowbro is the #1 switching to this Infernape that I have on my team, which means I need to keep Slowbro around for the remainder of this battle so long as that Infernape is still roaming the field. And I believe he did just switch out into the Rotom as I switched down to my Donphan because he keeps constantly switching in and out. I need to get on my Stealth Rocks, and with him not having a Rapid Spinner, they will be here to stay for the remainder of the battle. As he goes for the Will-O-Wisp, it doesn't really bother me too much, so I don't really care that he did that. And I'm then just going to switch back into my Zapdos as he makes a very good prediction, predicts my switch out, fearing the possible Hydro Pump, and goes for another Will-O-Wisp and catches my Zapdos switching. So this is why that Will-O-Wisp miss earlier doesn't end up mattering too much, as I stay in just trying to get off more damage on this Rotom because I really need to get rid of this thing because it's definitely going to be a nuisance. And Rotom was actually a bigger problem than I thought it would actually be. So yeah, and not to mention that he is actually going to turn out to have the Pain Split, so all this damage that I'm doing with Thunderbolt is irrelevant because he goes for the Pain Split. And even though I did get the paralysis, you're going to see that that paralysis really doesn't end up playing a big role throughout this whole battle. So yeah, I don't think that's like game changing or anything. But because he did go for the Pain Split, I do believe I just stay in and go for the Roost, just because I know Zapdos will definitely be beneficial to me throughout this whole battle. Not to mention that Zapdos, being special defensive, can take hits from that Gengar, and because I don't just carry one offensive move, if he is sub-disable, I can still be able to break the substitute of Gengar while possibly being able to take it out. So that's an extra thing that I need for Zapdos to do, and I need to keep it on for the battle. But because I know he's more than likely just going to want to go for the Flare Blitz, and because he hasn't revealed to me that he has Hidden Power Grass or something weird like that, I decided to switch back into my Slowbro, take the Flare Blitz like a monster, and I'm just going to go straight for the Psychic because I know he's not going to want to bring in the Ferrothorn on the off chance that maybe I do have the Fire Blast or the Flamethrower. As he brings in the Rotom, judging from the damage, I'm thinking that maybe I will be able to take it out. Unfortunately, Rotom ends up living and gets off a Pain Split. Now, because he got the Pain Split off and got off a good amount of damage, I know he's more than likely just going to want to go for the Volt Switch and not go for like the Hydro Pump. And even if he does go for the Will-O-Wisp, my not my Nidoking, sorry, but my Ninetales isn't affected by it. So either way, Ninetales in this situation is the best switching, as he does go for the Volt Switch. He ends up Volt Switching out into his Infernape, and here I thought that he would actually go for the U-turn, expecting me to switch into my Slowbro. So what I'm going to do is actually stay in, but no, he goes for the Stone Edge. Thankfully, thank you, he ends up missing the Stone Edge, and that really is very crucial. Because if he had taken out my Ninetales, that means the only weather I would have been able to have on my side of the field or throughout the whole battle was going to be the Sandstorm from my Tyranitar, and I do have a Victory Bell on my team that relies on the Sun. So that miss was very crucial. As he switched in the Gengar, I did go for the Roar, and I'm just going to go, no, I went for the Roar on his Infernape, roared him out to Gengar, then go for the Flamethrower as he brings in the Infernape, take that out as he brings in the Gliscor, sorry, and I know I should be faster than this, so I'm gonna go for the Will-O-Wisp, but I missed, and he goes for the substitute, and he turns out to be Poison Heal. Oh God! What the hell is wrong with me? And I guess that, well, no, that does make up for the fact that he missed Stone Edge in his first Will-O-Wisp, but that one miss with the Will-O-Wisp right there just made this battle longer than it really had to be. And oh my, I was so fucking frustrated, which is why I actually leave in my Ninetales. Luckily for me, I'm actually able to live the Earthquake, and this is where I realized, oh hey, I kind of need to keep my Tech Ninetales because I need to keep the Sun up. So expecting him to go for another Earthquake and not the substitute, I decided to switch into my Zapdos. As he did go for it, I can freely just go for a Hidden Power Ice or a Heat Wave, but unfortunately he does turn out to have the Protect, which means his fourth move is more than likely Toxic, and with my Zapdos being poisoned, my Zapdos has just become the perfect switch into this Gliscor, which means this is another reason why I need to keep my Zapdos around for this battle. And now I know he's going to be expecting another Hidden Power Ice, and I know he's not going to want to switch into Ferrothorn, so I do predict the Rotom switch in, and I'm easily going to be able to knock that out with 2 Thunderbolts. So one giant massive nuisance that I thought was not going to be a problem is finally gone, and I can have a better leeway with my team and not have to worry about the Rotom anymore. So he brings in the Gengar, and I make a bit of an odd play. Then again, even if he had gone for the substitute, I was pretty positive I would have been able to live a Focus Blast, but on hindsight, I should have just kept in Zapdos and gone for the Thunderbolt. But as you see, he actually turns out to be a choice Gengar, so I guess the switch on to Tyranitar really wasn't all too bad. And I did run a quick damage calc, and if this thing is timid, I can live a Focus Blast, which I am pretty positive he is. So I just leave in Tyranitar, go for the Pursuit to either get off a huge amount of damage on it or actually take it out. But he gets a crit. Now, if he was Modest, that crit didn't matter. But then again, why would you run Modest Gengar even if you are Scarfed? Once you trick it off, Gengar's 350 max speed, I believe it is really, really nice. So with that crit, this Gengar is going to be around for the remainder of this battle, which, along with the Will-O-Wisp miss, was really frustrating. So I just bring in Ninetales just to get my Sun back up as death fodder, basically. And I'm going to bring back in my Zapdos, and I do believe I just go for the Roost again as he brings in the Gliscor, which was really risky because if I had predicted that and gone for the Hidden Power Ice, that thing would have got annihilated. But no, I did just make the safe and obvious play and keep my Zapdos around, because Zapdos basically deals, as I said, with his Gliscor and his Gengar. Not to mention I do have Heat Wave for that Ferrothorn, so Zapdos is definitely an MVP in this battle, as I believe he went for the Protect on my Hidden Power or my Heat Wave. I looked away for a second. He actually goes for a second Protect as I go for the Heat Wave, thinking he would want to bring in Ferrothorn, and no, I actually don't end up taking him out. And I was actually very, very close to going for the Hidden Power Ice, as this turn he goes for the Protect again, and me stupidly, I go for the Hidden Power Ice. So now I'm hoping he'll actually stay in, thinking I want to predict this switch into Ferrothorn and go for the Heat Wave. That way, when I hit him with the Hidden Power Ice, I can take out the Gliscor and not have to worry about it anymore. But he makes a very good play and actually brings in the Gengar, knowing that if I did go for Heat Wave, I would take him out. Or if I did go for the Hidden Power Ice, I wouldn't take him out, but still get off a good chunk of damage. And unfortunately, I did just go for the Hidden Power Ice. As he brought in the Gengar, it does live, which means this thing is still a giant massive problem, and it's not even sub disable or sub pain split, but it's fine. And I know he more than likely just wants to go for the trick, and at this point with Donphan being burnt, it's really the least helpful thing on my team, so I just switch it in on the trick, and I'm just gonna go for the head smash as he ends up bringing in the Ferrothorn. Now because he brought it in on my locked Donphan, I thought he would actually go for the Stealth Rocks, predicting me to switch out, but no, he actually makes the very good play, goes for the Leech Seed, predicting me to switch out, predicting him to just want to get up his entry hazards. And unfortunately, because I am burned, along with the Leech Seed, my Zapdos is going to be losing a huge amount of HP. Then again, this is actually my perfect opportunity to go for the Roost, because even if he wants to switch out, it doesn't matter. If he wants to go for a Power Whip, it's not going to be doing much. And if he wants to go for the Gyro Ball, obviously I resist it. But he actually goes for the Stealth Rocks, knowing I would be forced to go for the Roost. He was not fearing the Heat Wave, so that was a good play on his part, because late game rocks are better than no rocks, right? So I'm just going to stay in, and at this point I know nothing on his team appreciates a sun boosted Heat Wave, so he's just going to leave in Ferrothorn for Death Fodder, and I managed to take out that nuisance. And at this point I actually thought that Gengar was at low enough HP to where he would die to a Stealth Rock switch in, which is why I actually switched into my Donphan. Also, the Protect from Gliscor was very, very obvious, so either way my Donphan was the best switch in I had in that situation. So I do go for the Rapid Spin, and it actually turns out that, hey, Gengar does not die from the rocks. So yeah, his Stealth Rocks are still going to be up, but you're going to see that they really do not play a role this late in the game, as now I can get a free switch into my Victory Bell, even though the Scizor is more than likely banded and will just revenge kill me as I take something out on his team. It doesn't really matter, because hey, I got a kill with Victory Bell, right? And that's all I really wanted to do with this team, so it has been fulfilled. But then after I take out the Gliscor, he brings in the Gengar. So I got 2 kills, and at this point his last is the Scizor, but as you're about to see, he actually isn't choice banded, because if he was, then this Bullet Punch easily would have been able to take me out. So I guess maybe he was like a bulky SD set or something along those lines. But yeah, that's actually going to be the 3-0 victory in my favor, and I managed to get a mini Victory Bell sweep near the end. So yeah, this was definitely an awesome battle in my opinion. Had a whole lot of fun. Hopefully you guys did stick around for the whole thing, and if you did, I greatly do appreciate it. You know what to do, guys. Make sure to click that like button. It's just a second of your day. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully y'all are enjoying this little daily uploading thing that I'm doing. I don't know how much longer I'll keep it up, but yeah, with that, I do believe I am out of here, guys. So I'll see y'all hopefully tomorrow night, and later.